Okay, now we have question 7, okay, of paper 1. First, the sum of interior angles, we know the formula is n minus 2 times 180 degrees. In this case, n is 8 sides because it is an octagon, which is 8 sides, minus 2 times 180 degrees. Sum of interior angle will give you 1080 degrees. Then we know that one of the interior angles is 3x plus 8, okay. Two of them are 5x plus 46. The remaining 5 angles are 3x each. So just simplify, get 10x plus 92 plus 15x, collect all the x terms, 3, 10 and 15 get 28x, 8 and 92 gives you 100. Okay, then you get 20x is equals to 980, you divide both sides by 28, x is equals to 35. And that is question 7. Question 8, okay. 50 sets of SD cards with a storage capacity of 128 gigabytes. Okay, one external hard disk has storage capacity of 2 terabytes. What is the least number of external hard disks required? So basically, 50 times 128 times 10 to the power of 9. This giga is times 10 to the power of 9. Okay, and for the external hard disk, tera is 2 times 10 to the power of 12. You divide out, you get 3.2. Okay, you cannot buy 0.2 hard disk, so therefore the company has to buy 4. Okay, 3.2 rounded up, you have to buy 4 external hard disks, and that's question 8. Okay, and now we shall move on to question 9. Okay, question 9a is like this. Okay, 9a, as we can see, that is the graph for question 9a. Okay, negative x cube, positive x cube would be like this, negative x cube would be like this. Then now they tell us, okay, that is for 9a. For 9b, the sketch of the graph of y equals to x to the power of n. Write down a possible value of n. Okay, this is clearly a 1 over a over x squared graph, so n in this case will be equals to negative 2. This is basically memorization work. And lastly, okay, for part C, okay, part C, what we need to do is this, okay, write down a possible equation for the graph below. Okay, so now if you notice, for this graph, okay, this graph will give me, this is y equals to a to the power of x, where a can be anything. Okay, in this case, right, what happens is it must be the other way around. Okay, so because it's negative, it will reflect to the other side. Okay, so y equals to negative a to the power of x. Okay, here's a problem here, because when you have x equals to 0 in this case, you get a to the power of 0 is 1, you get negative 1. But if you notice, the graph actually passes through, okay, at negative 2. So we have to add in an extra 2 there, like this. So that when x is 0, anything to the power of 0 is 1. 1 times negative 2 will give me negative 2, okay, which is the y-intercept. And they say, write down a possible equation. Let's just change the value of a. A can maybe be 2, 3, up to you. It can be 3 to the power of x. And that is it for question 9c. A bit more difficult, but still doable. Now we move on to question 10a. Okay, question 10a. Students have answered 40 questions. 10 points are awarded for every correct answer, and 5 points are deducted for every incorrect answer. Okay, students who score at least 300 points qualify for the next round. Alright, so first, write the correct answers. Let the correct answers be x. Okay, so 10, because every correct answer gives you 10 points, so x times 10 gives you the correct the points you earn from getting the correct answers. Then if you answered x correctly, it means that you have answered 40 minus x incorrectly, and this will give me a penalty of negative 5. Hence, it's negative 5 times the number of questions that were answered incorrectly. And in order to qualify for the next round, your score must be at least 300. So it can be 300, it can be above 300. That's why it's greater than or equals to 300. Then you expand 10x minus 200 plus 5x is greater than or equals to 300. Then you just solve as per normal. 15x is greater than or equals to 500. X is greater than or equals to 33 and 1/3. So you cannot just answer 33 questions correctly. So the least number must be 34. So you round up in this case. And that is question 10B. Okay, now we move on to question 11. Okay, question 11. First, okay, what I'll do here is this. I will now change 216 to become 6 to the power of 3. Then I will express 6 in negative index form like this, so that if this index is the same, it means the base must be the same. So therefore y is equals to 6 in this case. Okay, so from here to here I express it in negative index form. Okay, now let me go on to question 11b. Question 11b, if 7 to the power of x is equals to 36, find the value of 2 to the power 2 over 7x to the power of 2 plus 3. Okay, notice down here, what we've done here is this. 7x over 2, okay, what we do is we express it as 7x times half. Thus x times half is x over 2. Then we write it as 7x to the power of half, like this, plus 3. We know that 7 to the power of x equals to 36, so we substitute here. 36 to the power of half is square root is 6 plus 3. Hence you get 2 over 9 for question 11b. Now we move on to question 12. Okay, question 12a. Simplify that. Okay, so when you expand this, what you get is 4 to the power of 4, x to the power of 7 times 4, which gives you x to the power of 28 divided by 2x squared. So if you want to write it out, you get 256x to the power of 28 over 2x squared. 256 divided by 2 yields 128. X to the power of 28, x to the power of 2 is x to the power of 28 minus 2, which gives you x to the power of 26, which is question 12a. We move on to question 12b. Express 125 over a in the form of a over b to the power of n, where a and b are prime numbers and n is an integer. Okay, so what we will do here is this. Okay, first and foremost, 125 over 8. Okay, 125 can be written as 5 cubed, then 8 can be written as 2 cubed. Then you open the bracket, 3 times 4 over 3 is 4. 2 to the power of 3 times 4 over 3 becomes 2 to the power of 4. Okay, then if you put it backwards, right, you take out the 4, you get 5 over 2 to the power of 4. Okay, in the other side, what for this solution, we will actually express 4 over 3 as 1/3 times 4. So 125 over 8 to the power of 1/3, so we actually write it as 125 over 8 to the power of 1/3 times 4. That's why what we're doing is taking the cube root of 125 over 8, which is 5 over 2 to the power of 4. And that is question 12b. We move on to question 13. Question 13, first, 8y cubed minus 50y, you can factorize 2y. We're left with 4y squared minus 25. This, if you can actually identify, is a squared minus b squared, which gives you a plus b, a minus b. And that is question 13a. Now we move on to question 13b. 13b is a question of factorization by grouping. So you factorize m from these two terms, you get m minus 3. You factorize 2n, you are left with m minus 3 there. factorizing, the common term here is m minus 3, m minus 3. You factorize, you're left with m plus 2n. Hence 13b gives us m plus 2n, m minus 3. And that is question 13. Now we move on to question 14. Okay, question 14 is about the hair salon. Okay, in proportion of May because of SG50 apparently. Okay, Lydia wants to have a haircut and hair treatment. Okay, compare the rates for members. State if Lydia should take up the membership. The membership fee is $25. Okay, so let's look at the working. Before joining as a member, the total amount is 150 because you are taking up the haircut and hair treatment. So that is 40 plus 110 is $150. So if you want to join as member, first you must pay the $25 membership fee, but don't forget you get the members discount for the haircut. So you pay 85% of $40, and for the hair treatment there's a 25% discount, so you pay 75%, 0.75 of 110. So in total you pay $141.50 if you join as a member. So she will save $850. So therefore Lydia should take out the membership because she will save $8.50. Now, as Lydia's birthday falls on the month of May, okay, the hairstylist offers her a further 20%. Write down an equation for the total amount T that Lydia needs to pay for rebonding and scalp if she returns to the salon within the month of May. Use R and S to represent the original price of rebonding and scalp treatment respectively. Okay, so basically now she returns, right? So R. So first, right, you get 0.7. Why 0.7? Because there's a 30% discount on rebonding, so you pay 70% of rebonding, and don't forget 20%. So that means you have to pay 80% of the already discounted price. Similarly, for the scalp treatment, first you get 20% off, okay, for being a member. On your birthday month, you get a further 20% off. That's why you pay 80% of this membership price. So you just key in the calculator. 0.8 times 0.7 is 0.56. 0.8 times 0.8 is 0.64s. So therefore this is the price you'll pay, 56% of the original rebonding price and 64% of the scalp treatment price if she were to come on her birthday month. And that is question 14. Now we move on to question 15. Okay, question 15a. Express that. This question is a question about completing the square. So let me show you what to do, but be careful, there is this negative sign here. So what we get is negative x squared minus 4x minus 5. Then what we do is divide by 2, square, copy, then don't forget to open up the brackets again. What I get is like this, okay. Alright, negative x minus 2 square, so there should be one more name. It is negative x minus 2 square plus 9. So y equals to minus x minus 2 square plus 9. Now, sketch the graph showing the intercepts with the axis clearly. Okay, so now for this one, we need to show everything, okay, because the question says intercepts with the axis, so this means both the x and y axis we also need to show. So for the y-intercept, we let x be equals to 0. So when x is 0, negative 2 square is 4. Then you put in negative sign, is negative 4 plus 9. So y is 5. We know that the y-intercept will be equals to 5. Okay, so I write down y-intercept is equals to 5. Now to find the roots or the x-intercept, what we do is we look back at the original equation. So and we let y equals to 0 like this. Okay, this one is to find the roots. Then we multiply both sides by -1. Then we factorize. So x equals to 5 or x equals to -1. Okay, so what we need to do now is this. We know that y-intercept is 5. There's a root at -1 and 5. So if we just quickly sketch a graph. Okay, this will be -1, this will be 5, and this will be 5 as well. And that is the completed sketch. Now, to find the line of symmetry, the line of symmetry will lie down here. Okay, so basically we just take x equals to 5 plus -1 divided by 2. X equals to 4 divided by 2, x equals to 2. Because they should be equidistant, so just take these two, divide by 2, okay, to find the midpoint between these two. So therefore the line of symmetry is x is equals to 2. And we are done with question 15. Now we move on to question 16. Okay, question 16, there is no other choice but to expand everything here. You expand, you collect all the terms on the left hand side, you factorize, okay, and finally 2x plus 1 equals to 0, x minus 5 equals to 0, so x is equals to -12, or in this case x is equals to 5. That is 16a, not much to be said there. 16b, 2, 3, and 6, the lowest common denominator is 6, so you multiply throughout by 6. 6 and 6 will eliminate. 6 and 3 gives us 2, 6 and 2 gives us 3. 3 times 3 gives you 9. You expand everything, collect x on one side, all the other terms on the other side, and you get x is equals to 1/4. And that completes question 16b. Now we move on to question 17. 17a. Describe her run as shown in the graph above. Okay, so between 4 a.m. to 5:42 a.m., which is here, between 4 a.m. and 5:42 a.m., right down here, right, notice that the distance, okay, the gradient of a distance time graph, okay, distance time graph will give you the speed. Notice that the gradient is increasing. So because of increasing gradient at this region here, what I can say that because of increasing gradient, it means that what we have is an increasing speed. Here, distance is not increasing, she was at rest. Here, what we have is distance over time gives you speed. Notice that the gradient is constant, so she ran at a constant speed here. Notice everything is just about speed, so no need to write so many things. So she ran at an increasing speed between 4 a.m. to 5:42 a.m. She stopped for 36 minutes, okay, the small portion here, and then finally she ran at a uniform speed between 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Now, what is her speed at 5 a.m.? Down here, the speed is at 5 a.m. You need to find the gradient at 5 a.m. Okay, 5 a.m., a speed at 5 a.m., you need to find gradient. Gradient will give you the speed. So what you do here is you take the ruler, okay, and you just draw the tangent line there, okay, and you find the gradient of this line, okay, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, or you can use rise over run. Okay, any method is fine. In the end, you will find that the gradient of tangent is about 11 and 1/9. Okay, so that means her speed is about 11. It is 11 and 1/9 km per hour. That's the gradient of tangent. Roughly around that value is fine. 17C. Find the average speed of Alyssa's run. Average speed is total distance over total time. Her total distance she ran was 30 kilometers. Total time she ran is 4 hours. So the average speed is 7.5 kilometers per hour. Okay, and finally D part 1. D part 1 we talk about this girl Pei Hua, okay, in the same run as Elisa. She started at the same time, ran at constant speed, and completed a run at 7:36. Okay, so 7:36, Pei Hua finished at 7:36, so she have finished here 7:36 down here. Okay, then draw and label. So we just draw the line like this. Okay, this is Pei Hua's graph. Alright, then finally, at what time did Alyssa overtake Pei Hua? Okay, so she will have overtaken here at 5:18 a.m. Okay, over here, she had overtaken her at 5:18 a.m. Okay, so she overtook her, okay, at 5:18 a.m. Okay, that's the first time she overtook. Then after that, Pei Hua overtook her at this time. So she overtook her at this time. Then they swap again at this time. And that ends the corrections for the paper 1. Thank you.